Haven't done one of these episodes in a while. Last time on True Fear, I talked about the fight for independence, or at least the fight that happened to me and my friend when we went to go see the Independence Day movie that sucked, where some pretty creepy stuff ended up going down. So if you want to screen that episode, I'll leave a link, and it's really up to you if you want to watch it though. So my other creepy movie theater story happened 10 years ago when I went to go see the movie 1408. Now I loved 1408. I think it's one of the most underrated Stephen King movies. If you aren't familiar with the film, it's based off a short story about an author who writes stories about haunted places, and someone challenges him to stay in this supposedly haunted hotel room in New York City. He tries to stay overnight in the room, but soon finds himself unable to distinguish hallucinations from reality and unable to escape room 1408. Now I went to go see this with my two friends, let's just call them Billy and Bobby, because those were their actual names. As I mentioned, this movie came out in 2007, so we were in 7th grade at the time. We had just gotten to the age where we were old enough to have our own cell phones, so my parents would drop me off at the movies with my Sanyo PCS Vision phone, and I could call to get picked up afterwards. That evening, we had gotten to the theater a bit late, so we were just walking in right as the movie was starting. About 30 minutes in or something is the part of the movie where the protagonist, let's just call him Mike Enslin, because that's his actual name, is getting settled in the hotel when things start to go weird. Now, I know jump scares tend to get a lot of hate these days, but I really like them when they're done right. And 1408 does an excellent job of making the viewer put their guard down before it. So there are a bunch of jump scares in this movie that involve the alarm clock, phone, and other appliances around the hotel room. Remember how I said that we walked into the movie right as it was starting? Well, turns out that we missed the silence your phones reminder, and Billy had forgotten to turn his phone off before we sat down. So sure enough, at the exact moment of the phone jump scare in the movie, Billy's phone goes off at a startling volume. And I can't even begin to describe the terror of that moment. The jump scare in the movie would have been enough by itself. The volume of Billy's phone ringing in the movie theater would have been enough by itself, but the fact that they happened at the exact same time made it feel for that one moment like the haunts of the movie were in the seats with us. And this was also before the days where there were a lot of ringtone options, so Billy just had a generic analog phone ringtone that almost matched the sound of the phone in 1408. It only took us a moment to figure out what had happened, but that one moment was a moment of panic, and it was enough to put us on edge for the rest of the 112-minute runtime. There's not much else to this story. You can look at it as a coincidence, or you can look at it as something deeper, but one thing you're definitely going to want to look at is the next episode of True Fear, where Cinder is going to be filling in and filling you in on how a lunatic attacked her on the bus. So if you've got any scary stories about the movies, please do share them in the comments. We'd love to hear them. If this story has spooked you out of going to the movies, maybe you'd rather stay home for some CZsWorld and chill. If that's the case, you gotta pick up this merch. I'll leave a link in the description. Remember to subscribe to CZsWorld for new horrors every week. Ring that death bell for notifications, and I'll see you in the next one. Assuming we...